your grace I have hope. I've already paid every day I owe. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be going through my July wrap-up. First of all, I want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. So let's talk about my face, okay? So what had happened was I went and got my nails done, and they put this like oil on my nails when they were done. And I started like touching my face, like not like my face would itch and I'd touch it and the oil was on my hands. So I thought maybe that was the reason. Twas not. So a couple days after I got my nails done, my dog scratched me under my eye, and I'll put the video, I think it's a picture or a video right here. And then a couple days later it turned into this. And when it turned into this, I didn't really understand what was going on. So I went to urgent care and I told them that my dog had scratched me under my eye, and now I'm on like antibiotics and stuff like that. But I just wanted to explain that before you guys are all caught off guard. Like, it is getting better. The antibiotics is definitely helping. But yeah, I think just the bacteria under my dog's nail kind of made my skin's very sensitive anyway, and the bacteria under his nail kind of did not help that fact. Yeah, let's get into the video. By your grace I've been set free. Can you guys tell that I have that song stuck in my head? Cody Johnson, I don't know if you guys listen to country, but I've been listening to him and his songs are so good. Like, they're so good. This is very sad to me that I'm pulling all of these books out when I organize this bookshelf by color. And I just have to put them back. It really upsets me. The reason you guys got a little bit shorter, it's because you're on a pile of books and I had to get a book from the pile. So, sorry about that. Guys, I just watched that back and my face looks so bad, I promise. Like, it's bad, but it's not as bad as it looks, if you know what I mean. But I also changed the location because I wanted to sit. But I read 11 books this month. Super exciting. Honestly, if I actually like physically read, like I physically read but I listen to them most of the time, I think I'd have like 2 books, 3 books. And audiobooks count as reading them, okay? It doesn't matter if you read it physically or it counts, okay? It doesn't matter if you read 1 book or 67 books, okay? Anyway. Also, guys, I was number 2012 at Duncan. It was a great year. The first book I read in July was Speak by Lori Halls Anderson. So I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really important. This is about a freshman and she goes to a party where she gets sexually assaulted at. So please look up trigger warnings before reading this book, but I thought the book was pretty good. There was these segments in this book where it's like 10 more lies they tell you in high school, or like 10 lies they tell you in high school, and I thought that was really cute. Like, I'm gonna read you guys some of them. You will use algebra in your adult lives. We will be enforcing the dress code. Our bus drivers are highly trained professionals. I don't know, I just thought that was so funny, but a majority of this book is obviously sad. But yeah, I mostly just focused, there was a lot of funny things in this book too, to kind of like even out the playing field, but at the very end, there is like an interview with the author on the book, and I thought that was really cool. I highly suggest this. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Our Way Back to Always by Nina Marino. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. It was a really cute story I just don't think it was like average. I feel like I can't tell you one thing that happened in this book. I like kind of forget. Obviously looking through it, I remember they had some really, really cute moments. It's just, it wasn't very memorable of a book. Like it felt like a cute, like typical story. So very cute. Did it impact me in any way? Not really. Next is All Your Twisted Secrets. Guys, I enjoyed this book so much. It was so entertaining to read. I was having so much fun. This is about, look, I literally had to okay, don't look at this if you haven't read this, but literally look at this diagram I made in the front of the book. I literally made a diagram because there were so many things happening, and I don't know, I was having a hard time keeping up, but oh my god, I can't explain how much I love this book. But it's about 6 strangers and they get invited to this dinner and they find a bomb. You have to like pick one person to die or whatever. I don't know. It was so good. Like, look how much I tabbed this. By the way, the purple is wow, like shocking moments. So that alone should make you want to read this. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. But I wish I could read this book again. It was so good. And I haven't heard about it, so I don't get it. But I want to read you guys one of the quotes. I'm going to start doing this thing where I read, if I have any favorite quotes from the book, I'll read one quote from the book that I really enjoyed. So this is the quote from All Your Twisted Secrets. He's a person with hopes and dreams of his own. They may not be ambitious as yours, but he's got every right to pursue them. Just because you don't know him or what they are doesn't make it any less true. So I really liked that quote. Also, the romance in this book, like it wasn't a huge plot of the story, but the romance I really shipped. Like I love that couple. They were so cute. Ah! And the twist at the end, I just remembered the twist at the end. Oh my god. Next book I read was Listen to Your Heart by Casey West. I gave this book a 2 out of 5 stars. It was okay. Like, it was cute story. I only tabbed it once, so usually you know if I like the book depending on how many tabs are in the book. This book is basically like blank. Like, I didn't write in this book at all. This is about Katie, and she joins a podcast at her school, like giving advice to people about dating and crushes and stuff like that. And her crush ends up calling in, and it just happened the way you expected it to happen. I don't know. I need to have like a little twist of some sort, but it was still really cute. I think, yeah, I ended up giving this a 2 out of 5 stars. I don't know. If you like Casey West stories, which I do too, I think they're really cute, they're just not very interesting to me. It's okay. It's okay. I do want to try another one of her books because this is the only book I have from her that I've read. So I don't want to judge her before I even read more than one book. So hopefully I will be doing that very soon. Next book I read was When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk, and I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. Again, I love the concept of like a best friend breakup, and oh my gosh, her best friend is so mean. Like, I didn't like when they said they were like not talking to each other, like they're enemies, y'all. Like, they're not just not friends anymore, like they're enemies. And her best friend is so mean at points. Like, some of the things she was saying, I was like, oh my god. But I think this book is really important for a lot of younger people to read, like during like freshman, sophomore year, like middle school age. I feel like this is a really important book to have in your mind, just because there's so many things that go on in middle school and high school when it comes to friendships, and I think this kind of brings to light that you're not alone and these things happen to a lot of other people besides yourself. I don't know, I really love this book. I thought it was really, really important, and I knew I would love it just by reading what it was about. But one of my favorite quotes from this book was, I might say a couple quotes on it. It says, it feels nice to be out of my own head, to be distracted by a beautiful boy on a beautiful night. Also, the love interest, I just love love, okay? I love when there's like a love story. And this love story was so cute. I didn't know you could want to hurt and protect someone simultaneous I can't say it, guys. Simultaneously until that moment. I didn't know you could want to hurt and protect someone simultaneously. Moving on. It says, perhaps he doesn't know how it feels to break in this particular way, or perhaps it's different for boys, but girls cling to their friends for dear life as they wade through the rough waters of learning who they are while everything around and inside them is changing minute by minute. And aren't we all a little bit in love with our best friends? I love that quote. It like describes, so when I was in middle school, I hung out with these same, like, it was all three of us, so I hung out with these same two girls, and to this day I am still friends with them, and it just makes me smile because it reminds me of how I felt like if I don't have these people I will not survive. Like, these people are my people, and it's so, like, the way they described it is so, this book just expressed that love you have for your friends at such a young age, and I loved that. Oh my god, the quotes in this book are so good. So this is the last quote I'm going to be saying. I came from a storm of a woman, but I'm just a drizzle of a girl. The next book I read was The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I was super excited to read this book, and I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 stars. This is about Jessica, and she is a single mother. And then there's this guy named River, and he makes this test that is based off of your DNA, and it shows you who your like soulmate is based on your DNA. And River and Jessica do not like each other, but they end up being matched together. So they end up fake dating to kind of show that this experiment works, and obviously they fall in love. I thought this was a really, really cute book. The story of Jessica and River was so cute. I loved it. And it was a very spicy book, and not very spicy, but it was spicier than I figured. But the fact that Jessica was a single mom, and the whole, like, I don't know, I love the single mom thing because my mom was a single mom, as I've said before, and it's just so relatable to me. I love that trope. But here is one of the quotes from the book. I want to be here to bring you coffee. I want to take you out to dinner and order the same food and hear you recite the odds that we would have met. I want to attend fancy social events together, Jess laughs, a surprise burst of sound, and his tone softens. I want you to call me for help, without an apology already on the tip of your tongue. I want to feel like I can kiss you again by your car at the end of the night. He swallowed. I want you in my bed. Guys, what? Guys, Christina Lauren and Colleen Hoover literally have my heart just by the way they write about love. Like, it was mind-blowing to me how you can put a feeling into words, because when you're feeling that feeling in the moment, dang, take a shot for every time I say feeling, but you can't explain it when you're feeling it. So just reading about it like brings you exactly back to that moment. I mean, I know you guys are watching a book video, so I think you know how books work, but I don't know, it's just so cool to me. The next book I read was See Me by Nicholas Sparks. This is the second book I've read by him. The first one was The Notebook, and then I also read another Nicholas Sparks earlier this month, actually right after this one, and this was a very chunky book. And I've noticed that I don't do well with chunky books. Like, my attention span is not that long, and it was just very hard to get through. I ended up giving this book a 3 stars out of 5. This was about Colin and Maria, and Colin's been a very troubled guy. He's gotten into a lot of fights over the years. So prison is kind of calling his name right now, and Maria works at her dad's pizzeria, and she has a dramatic history of her own, and they end up falling in love. And obviously both of their histories kind of come into play as the story goes on. Again, I thought it's just so overwhelming. Like, the story's good. The book was so long, guys. It says, like, and look how small the print is. Okay, I'm done. I'm done talking about it. I saw a side of Colin that I didn't like. So what? Do you think that Mom hasn't seen a side of Dad that she doesn't like? Or vice versa? I've seen a side of you that I don't like, but I didn't shut you out of my life. Someone's got to keep... Hey guys, so it's like an hour later because my camera died because your girl doesn't check it before she starts a video. I know, bad idea, but let me finish reading you this quote real quick and then we'll get into the next book. I think the rest of the quote was, someone's got to keep you in line and tell you when you're wrong. And on that note, you're wrong about Colin too. You should call him. He's good for you. The next book I read in July was The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. This movie is so good and the book was very good. It's about Ronnie, and she moves to this beach house that her dad lives at in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, and she's been getting in a lot of trouble back in New York, like shoplifting and things like that. And when she moves in with her dad for the summer, she is resentful towards him. And then she meets Will, and Will is such a charming character. I love him. He just makes you smile. He's so sweet. Their love story is so adorable, and there is a twist at the end that is like so heartbreaking, but this book is so good. It was adorable. I'm going to read a quote for you guys. It says, cut, rewind and tape, cut it back. Psych, you guys are not getting a quote. When you start to read the quote and then you realize that it's a spoiler, you guys just... I guess we'll go without a quote. I heard this rumor, don't quote me on this, that Nicholas Sparks wrote this book after the movie, and he wrote the role of Ronnie for Miley Cyrus. That's what I heard. Kind of confuses my brain, but that's what I heard. I don't know if it's facts, but it was The Score by Elle Kennedy, and I actually did a reading blog for this book because it is a part of the Off-Campus series, and wow, was this book spicy. It was so good though. A 4 out of 5 stars. It was not my favorite book out of the series, the first, but The Deal is still my favorite with Garrett and Hannah. I cannot get over them. But this is about Allie and Dean is like the biggest player of his friend group, and Allie gives a very similar, like, she's not a player, but their banter was so good because they're like, Allie's literally Dean but in a girl form, like the way he talks and stuff. I loved it. I loved that they were giving off the same energy. It was so cool. And these books are just so entertaining. But let me read you a couple quotes from this book. Even so, my heart hurts. It's hard to let go of someone who's been such a big part of your life for so long. It's even harder when that person refuses to let you go. The line was, Megan told me some crazy statistic once that how 80% of people who were interviewed for a grief survey admitted to having sex right before, during, or directly after a funeral. I guess it makes sense if you think about it. Celebrating life in the face of death, needing someone to hold on to, a tangible connection to another living, breathing person. I thought that was really interesting because that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting thing, and I'm sure that's very true. I'm sure 80% of people do that after funerals, because you just want to feel something. This book was my favorite this month. I loved, guys, how much I tabbed this book. And that is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Guys, Lynn Painter is so good. Why didn't you guys tell me that? So I literally ordered this book like 2 months ago because I think they were switching from hardcover to like softcover, and I've been going to Barnes & Noble trying to get it, and they weren't in stock yet, so I just went on Amazon and bought it. And this came in the mail. I didn't check on the shipping or anything. As soon as I got it, I read it. Obviously 5 stars, but I can't even describe. This is about Liz, and she is obsessed with like rom-coms and romance in general. And I related to her so much because my whole life I've been looking for love and been so obsessed with love. And every chapter has a quote from a like rom-com. Guys, please go read this book. It was so good. This has to do with Wes also, which is, it's like an enemies to lovers type thing. They were friends when they were little, so it's like friends to enemies to lovers. But guys, you don't even need to know what happened to this book to know to go read it, because look at this. Okay, this is gonna be a minute of me reading quotes, but you will not regret it. I want to read this book again. Like, I wish I hadn't read it so I could reread it, if you know what I mean. Like, I want to read this again for the first time. I've been searching a long time for someone exactly like you. Neighborhood friends were like that. You grew up with them running over hot sidewalks and yelling to each other across fresh-cut lawns, but once you got older, you became acquaintances born of proximity with nothing but a surface level of basic knowledge. I knew he parked like an ass playing a ball sport, baseball maybe. That is so true, because I grew up in this neighborhood where you kind of like knew everyone. It was like this small neighborhood and they all went to school with me. And I don't even know, like, I know what they're doing with their life now, but you become acquaintances. And you used to spend every day together, except for my boyfriend Chase. He lived down the street from me. I don't know, I really related to that, and I thought that was really cool. Guys, literally, this main chick is so funny. I put in so many yellow tabs, which is, like, relatable to me. But mostly, I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all. 10 things I hate about you. Please don't ever become a stranger whose laugh I could recognize anywhere. She also quotes Taylor Swift in this book a lot. And the last book I ended up reading for the month of July was Alex Approximately. And guys, this book literally got water damage, like, and I don't understand how. It's making me sad. Like, look at that. That looks horrible. But I ended up giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed this book. This is about Bailey and Alex, and Bailey is going online as Mink and texting Alex, and they've been texting for a while, talking about old movies and stuff, and they kind of form this friendship that kind of turns into a lovers type thing. They don't really talk about their feelings much, but you can tell there's something there. And when she moves to the state that Alex lives in, she meets this guy named Porter, and they hate each other. They cannot stand each other. Enemies to lovers type thing again. And she finds herself wondering how she feels about Alex and how she feels about Porter and what to do about the whole situation. Movie books recently, but obviously I read 2 books that were about like the whole thing of movies, whole topic of movies. And on this book, this has quotes from a movie before every chapter also, so I will read you guys some of that. And this is just a non-movie quote. Nothing hurts when you're touching me. So cute. And he mouths sorry to me and squeezes my hand, and just this tiny bit of skin-on-skin contact feels like when you wake up on the weekend and smell breakfast cooking, completely unexpected and delightful. I love that quote because it just sent me back to my childhood. Like, I always used to wake up, and we lived like on this dead-end street, and I would always wake up to like breakfast cooking in the morning, and I love that feeling when you're waking up and you smell that. It's just such a comfortable feeling. So that is all the books I read in July. I had a really, really good reading month, and I read a lot towards the end. Like, Alex Approximately, Better Than the Movies, When You Were Everything. Ooh, like, there's so many. I'm trying to pick. All Your Twisted Secrets. Like, these were my top 4 favorites this month. But I had so many good reading days. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like me. And I hope you guys have a good day or night or whenever you're watching this. Bye, loves.